All right, let's dive right into this. For the past year or so, trying to measure your organic search performance has been an absolute headache, and honestly, that's putting it mildly. But on June 3, 2026, Google finally dropped something the industry has been desperately begging for: native AI search performance reporting, right inside Google Search Console. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to break down exactly what this new Search Generative AI performance report actually shows, what it glaringly leaves out, and most importantly, how you can build a bulletproof measurement stack to track your true AI visibility.
Now, to really grasp why this launch is such a massive deal, we got to acknowledge the painful reality we've all been living in. This quote from independent SEO consultant Glenn Gabe hit the nail on the head. For nearly 12 months, our SEO data was literally a complete black box. Traditional 10 blue links, featured snippets, and AI overviews were all just mashed together under standard web search. You couldn't tell if a spike in impressions came from a killer new piece of content you wrote or just Google's AI deciding to cite you in a chatbot response.
So, to get us out of this measurement mess, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, the new AI report. Second, the missing click question. Third, the 3-layer measurement stack. Fourth, the opt-out dilemma. And finally, your next 5 moves.
Okay, let's get into Section 1, the new AI report, a partial fix.
To understand the true value of this new report, we kind of have to unpack the totally messy history that basically forced Google to build it. Back on May 13, 2025, a massive logging error started wildly inflating impression data across the board. Then, a month later in June, Google completely merged AI mode data into traditional web search with absolutely zero segmentation. It was a total reporting nightmare. Finally, on June 3, 2026, Google launched this new AI report in beta starting over in the UK. It separates AI search activity into its own dedicated reporting surface. We finally have some segmentation.
So the primary metric you're actually getting here is impressions, and Google defines this super precisely. It's exactly how often your URLs appeared in generative AI features with dedicated views for both search and discover. You can see this broken down by pages, countries, devices, and dates, even down to the hourly level. So think about it. If you make a content update and suddenly your AI visibility spikes, you now have a direct, reliable signal. It's a real game changer for surface visibility.
Moving right along to Section 2, the missing click question. Now, as amazing as surface-level visibility sounds, there is a massive twist here. While we finally get data on impressions, pages, countries, and devices, we get absolutely zero data on clicks. None. No average position, no click-through rate, no query-level breakdowns. Google can tell you exactly how often your pages appeared in an AI search response, sure, but this report literally cannot tell you if a single human being actually clicked through to your website.
Naturally, the whole industry asked Google about this glaring omission. Their response to Search Engine Land was that they are, quote, continuing to work with website owners to understand what insights will be most helpful and will introduce additional metrics over time. Well, that's pretty vague, right? Clicks might come eventually, but they definitely aren't here today. Because AI overviews often intercept queries before a click even happens, this report is fundamentally a half measurement. You just cannot use it in isolation to prove ROI.
Which brings us to Section 3. The 3-layer measurement stack.
So what does this all mean? How do we actually rescue our data and prove real business value? Well, you simply cannot rely on Google Search Console alone anymore. We have to piece the funnel back together layer by layer. Layer 1 is that new GSC AI report we just talked about. That's your leading indicator for surface-level visibility inside Google. Layer 2 is where we find our missing clicks, the GA4 AI Assistant channel, tracking actual traffic and conversions. And Layer 3 is dedicated AI citation tracking, which looks way beyond Google out into the broader AI landscape.
Let's zoom in on Layer 2 for a second. Just recently, back in May 2026, Google Analytics 4 added a native AI Assistant default channel group. This automatically separates referral traffic coming from recognized chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. When you pair the impressions from your GSC AI report with the sessions and conversions from this GA4 channel, you finally answer the ultimate question. Okay, we appeared, but did people actually come and buy the whole shebang?
But you might be wondering, why do we even need Layer 3? Well, it's because of this absolutely striking statistic right here, 40 to 60%. Research shows that 40 to 60% of AI citations actually rotate month to month. And remember, Search Console only covers Google surfaces. It tells you absolutely nothing about whether you're being cited by ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Claude. If you rely on single surface tracking, you are going to be massively misled. So when you combine these specific tools, it's like a giant puzzle finally coming together to show you the complete picture.
GSG gives you Google AI visibility and impressions, GA4 gives you the referral traffic and conversions, and third-party citation tracking tools give you visibility on platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity, so you know your actual cross-platform footprint. Combined, they literally turn a half measure into a real, actionable measurement asset.
All right, on to Section 4, the opt-out dilemma.
Alongside this new report, Google also introduced a highly controversial feature. After some really intense pressure from publishers, Google began testing a toggle in Search Console that lets site owners entirely block their content from appearing in AI mode and AI overviews. The mechanics here are super strict. If you opt out, you get 0 traffic and 0 impressions from AI features. Boom. Gone. However, Google explicitly states this will absolutely not be used as a ranking factor for traditional web search results. So your core organic visibility, it remains totally untouched.
So, what is the industry actually doing about this? Well, early survey data suggests that about 1/3 of SEOs would block Google from showing their content in AI search if given the option. The other 67%? They want to keep their visibility. But looking at just these raw numbers doesn't really tell the whole story. To figure out the right move for you, we really have to look at specific business models.
Honestly, who should actually hit that opt-out toggle? It's a pretty narrow case. It mostly makes sense for publishers who are entirely reliant on direct page reads. Like subscription sites or ad-funded content where an AI summary actively steals the click. But for most brands and operators out there, the right move is for sure to stay in. You want that upstream exposure. You want the branded recognition that comes from being cited during those high-intent consideration phases. You definitely don't want to disappear from the exact surfaces where buying intent searches are heading.
And that brings us to Section 5, your next 5 moves. Let's translate all of this theory into a concrete, actionable checklist for the week ahead. If you manage search visibility, you need to do these 5 things right now. 1. Check if the report is available in your Search Console. Beta access is rolling out in waves, so keep an eye out. 2. Set a baseline of your impressions so you know exactly where you stand before making changes. 3. Pair GSC with GA4's AI channel immediately so you aren't flying blind on clicks. 4. Implement cross-platform citation tracking. And 5. Make a deliberate, strategic decision on your opt-out stance based on your specific business model.
The new GSC AI report is a massive step forward. Absolutely. But it really only shows you one slice of the pie. It tells you when you appeared, but not if anyone actually came, and it totally ignores the rest of the AI landscape. So I'll leave you with this thought. If search is fundamentally changing right before our eyes, are you going to let a half report shape your entire strategy, or are you going to build the stack required to actually see in the dark? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. See you next time.